MovieWeb.com.
Well, now you guys seem fairly young. How did you get involved with Plato's Retreat, and what was it about this place that made you want to come together and make this movie?
Matthew and I have this cosmic bond. No, we were introduced through a mutual friend. Was working as a journalist. I was doing a piece on taxi drivers, and I got a lead that the owner of Plato's was driving a cab, and I sought him out. We met. He opened the door to this secret world that I had heard of but knew very little about. Very, very little. But it was a taboo world, a forgotten world. Fortunately, Matthew and I share a mutual friend, a very, very, very dear friend of Matthew's, and he put us together. And Matthew, basically made the project happen, and here we are.
And so you knew Larry before you started working on this, but we don't see too much new footage. So he passed away before you could really get in there and interview him, or was it a thing where he didn't want to be interviewed for the movie?
He passed away in 1999, and that was kind of a difficult process to make a documentary about our protagonist who's passed away, and to piece him together and try to show a portrait of a man through archival footage and interviews with people that knew him. So that was a challenge in this film. Really was really making a portrait of Larry that was true and honest, and we think poignant.
Now, were his kids really open to you? I mean, we see him in the movie. Was that a hard thing to track these guys down, or did they come up to you personally, or did Larry set that up in the past? I mean, how did that whole thing work?
Everything from the get-go was a hurdle. I mean, actually, Larry talking was not a hurdle. But after that, everything was difficult, getting everyone involved. It took time, wounds had to heal. A few things came easily, but this was a monumental, epic project, and we really needed two guys going on this full throttle.
And the involvement with Larry's family really made the film real. And here's Larry, the so-called king of swing. He grew up in a traditional family. This is just something that he got into. But it was nice that we had the family's involvement, and they did share their memories with us. Because I think ultimately it helped the film and grounded the film and grounded Larry as a character within the film.
And I guess there's sort of a stigma surrounding the whole swing movement, but last summer we saw Swingtown, now we're seeing this movie. I'm wondering, do you guys think this is something that's going to come back out of the woodwork and we're going to start to see Plato's Retreats popping up around the States? Or
no. There are places like Plato's Retreat in every city.
We just don't
across the country, not like to the size and to the breadth and to the loud vocal carnival barker aspect of like, come to Plato's Retreat. No, there are like small pockets of places in every city around the country that are swing clubs or swing, couples clubs, and they exist. And swinging comes in and out of vogue every 4 or 5 years. And we're not proponents of swinging. John and I aren't swingers.
Yeah.
If you want to talk straight, this is probably an anti-swinging movie. It's a historical story, a fun story, an untold story. We're not making a statement or a mandate asking for more swing clubs or anything of that nature. It is just a fun, untold story. Larry was such a rich character that he's in my bones. And I think he's in Matthew's bones at this point. And I couldn't. I'll never forget him. I mean, even with or without the movies. But we wanted to share him. We wanted to share this, his journey.
And now I heard.
Hold on a second. Can you see this in the shot? Do you want that in the shot?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
It's like
it's intimate.
Here,
My favorite interview is the guy eating the sandwich. So. while he's talking. It's fascinating to me watch somebody eat and talk at the same time. But I just heard that there was a Plato's Retreat here in Los Angeles and a couple other ones, I guess, around the country. I'm wondering, was there a reason why you guys didn't touch on that? Were they not associated with Larry?
John, I found out where it was. I drove by it yesterday.
No, I know
It's
where.
Hollywood
Were they
and
Ivar?
I knew where.
Hollywood and Ivar.
I had sent it over to Marina.
Because I drove by, I was like, that's it. That's where we,
There's a club there now, isn't there?
it's a gay club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to
The E
where
Entertainment
Plato's
Club.
was and expect a Plato's type environment, you will be greatly disappointed.
Well, no, you should start like there was a Plato's Retreat in Los Angeles in the late 70s. It did come here.
It was called Plato's Retreat West. It was, I believe, it's either 78 or 79. I do not have it. Was it 78 or 79?
I thought it was 79.
I think 79. It existed for about 6 months. It just did not work. It was harassed by law enforcement, by community leaders, and it didn't translate over to the West Coast. It didn't get the breaks.
The beautiful people. I mean, swingers inherently aren't the most fabulously attractive people, and Hollywood's got beautiful people, and if you're not beautiful, you can't imagine romping in the mat room with the mailman who lives in Silver Lake.
Mm-hmm. Next door to me, actually, so I know what he looks like.
I think
I know who he
think
is.
it was the harassment. People, they didn't want to risk going to this establishment and being exposed by exposed. I mean, if you're going to go to this type, you want to be protected. You don't want to risk being exposed and embarrassed. So there were a few raids on Plato's West. After the raids, business declined, and then it disappeared.
And I know this is probably a cliche question that you've been getting a lot, but with the documentaries we've been seeing coming out in the past, inevitably they turn them into a feature-length film, and sometimes they're a springboard for that. I'm wondering, is that what you guys are doing with this, or do you have any ideas to do something like that?
We're ready to go. Sign us up. The Moika feature. It's got everything. It's got everything that you need for a dramatic arc in a story.
Well, that's what it's saying. It sounds perfect for it, but sometimes you talk to documentaries now and they're like,
that's
goes
the
against what we did with the
Well, I'm
documentary.
a purist.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Documentaries. I'm drawing the line. I do documentaries for no money, and that's it. That's all I'm going to.
I can say the same for me.
Okay, and one last question I've got to ask.
I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's in the book, just to make sure. But I'm open to other opportunities, including corporate video.
Yes.
Corporate videos,
With
like for
Matthew.
Hewlett Packard.
I'm the Boswell of Plato's.
Now, I want to know more about the buffet, because
You don't want to know about the.
But were there pictures of this? They set it up so well just in the dialogue, but it just sounds like the most disgusting thing.
We have pictures, but everything's in the film.
Now, was it easy to get all of that footage culled together?
It was an absolute nightmare to cull together all the archival footage for this film. It was an absolute puzzle from across the country. We just had to hunt and peck, and we had some researchers that were helping us. But mostly, John and I did a lot of it ourselves. We got stuff from people, we got stuff from libraries, we got stuff from archives that people didn't even know they had, some from talk show hosts themselves. It was really a challenge to cobble together, because how can you tell the story about Plato's Retreat without seeing Plato's Retreat? Otherwise it would be this boring, staid, talking head documentary, and that's not the kind of film that John or I wanted to make. And that was a very important piece of the puzzle. And we knew after spending a couple of years looking that we pretty much found everything scrap that there is. And it's all in the film, so everyone should come see the film.
And what goes through your mind the moment you see a photo like the one woman sitting on the edge of the pool with the three guys? I mean, is that just like a find for you? Or, can you describe... do you just look at that picture and think that's a masterpiece of a photograph?
I start to think
Eureka.
I don't want to say.
Yeah. You don't want to say.
Off the record, I go, oh fuck. Do you know? Off the record, I go, oh fuck.
There's no off the record.
I was gonna say, do you want me to shut it off?
I'm not gonna say it. But
Okay. Well, that's
Too late, man.
that's my time.
I didn't say anything.
I'll shut it off, and then you can tell me.
What do I think when I see that photo? What do I think?
Our
I think?
photos like that. I mean, I just use that because that was like the one that got burned into my head watching this movie. So.
There were so many components to this movie, so many interviews. You think, okay, we got that. Okay, we're moving forward. Full steam ahead. You know, we're getting closer. I think fellow documentarians can relate. And as far as the woman, I think I know the photo that you're referring to. Very nice.